Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me as always, my podcast partners, Joe Hartley and Angel Diaz. What's up, fellas?
What's up?
What's happening?
If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Center Network. On Tuesdays, you got the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. Wednesdays is us, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with Gene, Joe, and Angel. And you know what? Just look for the Martial Arts Center Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, for all the other shows, because I cannot remember. I still ain't wrote that shit down yet. So anyway, fellas, it's showtime. What's going on? That's about to be one of those shows, Angels. About to be one of those.
I thought you were gonna say everybody else that we got. You over here just gonna skip right over it.
I gotta write them down because I don't remember the shows. I don't remember the names, so I gotta write it down.
That's how Gene gonna do it. Gene being Gene. It's all good. We wouldn't expect anything less.
What's up, guys? What's going on?
Not much, man. I had the wedding, big wedding for my brother-in-law Kevin. Interesting. I spent 4 days in Petoskey, Michigan. Beautiful weather, beautiful scenery. I mean, we were right outside. Every day I got to wake up and walk out right to Lake Michigan.
How far
it was
is
nice.
Petoskey away from Detroit?
I mean, from me, it was about a 4-hour drive.
Okay.
So maybe four and a half.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, we picked my sister-in-law up in Holly because she was going to help us with the kids because this was mostly a no-kids event.
Mm-hmm.
And, I might have explained a little bit on the podcast. It wasn't nothing crazy. My brother-in-law is marrying a girl that she's got a trust fund. Her parents, her dad mostly comes from money. He was adopted actually into this family that has owned a steel company.
Okay.
And so he's got 3 daughters, and I think this is the last one to get married, and I think she's the oldest. So and so we got to kind of see how the other half lives, man. It was interesting. I told Gene, because this was my outlook on the whole thing. To me, like, the rich people, all they really like to do is have parties where you eat little tiny fancy foods and you drink all the time. I mean, that's pretty much what we did most of the time. We were, rehearsal dinner. We had appetizers and drinks. And then the next day we had a welcome party and we had appetizers. They did have a meal, but it was, nothing crazy. And then this was at a vodka distillery. So we had drinks. And it was interesting. I tried some new things that I never tried because I'm like, you know what? If other people are, fronting the bill and I got to pay $12 for a drink, let's try a gin and tonic or, whatever. It was interesting. So I had myself a good time, met some fun people, got to see a lot of my wife's family that I don't always get to see, some from out of town. And my brother-in-law, he for the most part, he was stressed out leading up to, but he seemed like he was doing just fine the day of. So I guess as a groomsman, I did my job right.
All right.
Other than that, we came back from that, and the kids got the best part. They got to hang out with my sister-in-law and actually have a vacation. Where we were kind of on a schedule for most of it. So
right.
Yeah, so it was fun. Good time.
Okay. What's up, Angel? Oh, go ahead, Joe.
My father, his birthday is tomorrow. This is a Sunday. His birthday's on Monday, October 2nd. Same as Avery's. So, happy birthday, Pop. Love you.
That's right. Happy birthday, Mr. Hartley. All right. Angel, what's up, man? We haven't talked in a while. We ain't texted. I haven't heard from you. What's going on, man?
Man, I've been working. Been working. First off, happy belated to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, happy belated. I've been waiting.
Oh yeah,
for us
yeah,
to get
Gene.
on the.
I got all into all this other stuff. I didn't say which Gene.
Yeah,
Happy
I've been
birthday.
waiting to get on the. I've been waiting to get on the show for me to finally say it. Happy birthday to your dad, upcoming, Mr. Hartley.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
And then my birthday's this upcoming week actually.
All right.
Yeah. So
What date?
Libra season, the 6th, Friday.
Okay.
So Libra season, but man, I just been working, dude. I just been working. Just honestly, been tired.
How's the new job?
I love it. Honestly, I love the job. The hardest thing is the drive, the commute there back and forth. But outside of that, I love the job, man. Kids are good. Money is amazing. So
Teaching business, right?
Yeah, man.
I like that.
Smooth, man. Ain't no issues, no problems. It's like with your wife when she teaches art. It's like you get to like have fun with what you love to do. So it's easy.
Yeah, you know what's crazy though? Like, yeah, she does, but so her school got designated in the Walled Lake area to take on the ASD students.
You know what that is? So she has to. I know. I feel like is it the alternative, right?
Yeah. So
alternative.
Some higher functioning, some a little lower functioning. You know, I mean, we called it something different in our day, but this is what they called the ASD. They try to integrate them as best they can, but most of them will have a para because some of them are like nonverbal. Some of them are, highly autistic.
Have responsible teachers.
Can be very violent. So she has to work around that sometimes, and she just kind of learns what she can and can't do with that group. And when she finds something that works out really well for a certain student, that might be the lesson for the day. You know, if you have a very difficult one, that might be the lesson for the day. Or if she can get them to kind of do a few things that that might be good for them. She doesn't she makes special lessons planned for that group, but like she does her best to try and make sure that they still feel included and all that stuff. So
yeah, man. So that was really it. Last weekend I was training, I was doing karate, that's why I couldn't get on the show. Or 2 weekends before that, whichever one. So it felt good to just train now. Today, man, I was helping my dad with housework, which that ended up becoming a mess and a half. So, I mean, that was just something different, man. I got hurt and my dad was just being reckless at one point. So we were just I was just shaking my head, man, at one point. So but besides that, man, I've just been chilling, honestly. Just been chilling. Relaxing. So what about you guys? How's everything going, y'all?
I guess it's on me now. Everything's been cool, man. I've still been moving around. Melissa took me to Chicago last week for my birthday. So we had a good time. We had a good time in Chicago.
Cool. Surprised you go there.
To Chicago?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know we were.
Well, I'm surprised she would even take you there.
Why?
I mean, the whole
because well, you know what?
It's not karate wise. It's like literally like with anything. Detroit and Chicago are just rivals to the death. Like it's just that is like no matter we could talk about anything and everything. That is a rivalry that's just always gonna be there. It doesn't matter with what. So I'm surprised she would take you there.
Well, I mean, she's from Canada, so she doesn't really know that. But at the same time, I mean, Chicago is still a nice city, And
it is.
And growing up, I've never had the opportunity to hang out in Chicago. As many times as Joe and I went to Chicago, we only went for tournaments, and all you've seen is the hotel or the gym, and that's it. And then we're back on the road Sunday morning, heading out of there. So
we've been to a few restaurants, but
that's it,
Yep.
And so the last few years I've been to Chicago a couple times, and I've just got to hang out and do other stuff, So, but this time, like, I wasn't expecting it. I didn't know. She actually spoiled it. She spoiled it the night before it was time to go.
Oh, it was supposed to be a surprise, and then she spoiled it.
Yeah, she spoiled it the night before.
I don't know. Did you tell her Were you like, you ain't taking me no damn place unless you tell me where it is? Was you
No,
like
I
that
didn't
type
care.
of
Like
thing? Oh,
I'm the type of person that likes surprises. So
oh, you like them?
yeah, I like surprises. I don't have any
Me
beef with
too.
surprises.
My wife doesn't, and I still do it.
So you know, the night before she asked me a question, she was like, "We can do this in Chicago, right?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Oh no!
And then I just continued to watch TV, right? So
Whoops.
the next morning, she was like, "Okay, you want to know where we're going?" I said, "We're going to Chicago." And she was like, "How'd you know?" I was like, "Last night you asked me if we could do this in Chicago." And she, you know, she was a little upset at herself, but I was like, "It's okay, it's all good," you know. But I kind of had a feeling like it was either going to be Chicago or Toronto because she said we were driving. So those are the two places that you know
I thought
I would rather
honestly,
fun, you know.
I thought y'all would have went to Tennessee because y'all liked it over there.
We did like it over there, man, but I don't like that 8-hour drive that I did last time, or 9-hour drive I did last time. That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
and to drive down there just to turn back around a day later. You know, last time I went down there, I was in Bowling Green. I was there for a week for work.
Weren't
So
you the
then
one that said 9 hours? Did you tell me before a 9 hour drive is easy?
it 8
You told
hours.
me that before.
I did 8 hours.
Yeah,
Like when I drove to DC, 8 hours is cool. 9 hours,
yeah.
I don't know what, man. Last time I
That
drove
extra
to,
hour kills you.
yeah, man. Well, maybe
I'm just
because
surprised because I remember you. I remember you told me before. You like 8 hours is easy for you.
yeah, 8 hours. 8 hours wasn't bad, but I guess where I went last time, it just seemed like a longer drive. You know, actually, I didn't
I'll
drive
give
right
you that.
into
This,
DC. I went to
yeah.
Virginia the last time. You know, a couple years ago, I drove to Virginia. Or maybe that was last year. I drove to Virginia, and it just seemed like it was longer. Plus, it was later in the evening and night, and
I
I
know what that's
definitely
like. I know what that's
yeah.
like. I know.
And that
There's
and
some certain routes you take. It just seems like it's just takes
yeah, I'm
forever.
like, damn, am I supposed to be? I'm supposed to be here by now. And then I'm
Yeah.
using Waze, right? I'm using Waze, and Waze is a bitch, man, because Waze it'll tell you you're gonna be there at 10:20, and then you're driving a little long, and then they'll say, you know what, we're gonna push this to 10:22. You know what? We're gonna push this to 10:30. And I'm looking at Waze like, damn, like I'm going the speed limit or faster. I'm not slowing down. Why is my drive
That
extending
happens.
out? You know?
Yo, that's why I like using Google Maps. When I tell people, they're like Google Maps. I'm like, dude, that thing gives me updated traffic. Why would I not take that?
Well, you know what? I like Waze because Waze will tell you if the police is around. And you know, it'll
That's
say
that's yes, that is now. I know a lot of people use it for that reason, but
yeah,
then the opposite is like the ETA is always messed up.
yeah, yeah.
So
I'm
for me, I'm
definitely not
like,
a
you
fan
know
of
what,
that.
man? Like, I'll just do I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is my thing. I'm like, I'll use the Google Maps. I probably was gonna get a ticket anyways. So just give me the Google Maps. It is what it is.
I don't like
Like
tickets, man.
it's.
I
I'm gonna
I
be
just
honest with you,
I just
man.
paid a ticket the other day. It wasn't a
Bro,
speeding
I'm gonna
ticket,
be
but I
honest
had
with
a
you.
ticket.
I
It's
don't
not
like
fun.
tickets. I hate them. The last time, not the I was in Virginia last month or last week, the week I wasn't on, but
Mhm,
like the last time I was in Virginia, like months ago, in like
mhm.
April, I swear I was doing the speed limit and I still got a ticket. And I was with my girl and I was like, man, this is like bullshit. Like I hate this state. Like I always get a ticket in this state. No matter what, I always get a ticket. Don't even make no damn sense. Every time. Doing the speed limit, still got a ticket. I was like, this is
So,
just bullshit at
so,
this
so you
point.
might want to use Waze then. So at least, at least turn it on just let it play. Just because it'll say police up ahead or something like that. You can look at
Yeah.
Google's map, but use Waze for the police.
But
Use it
use
like
ways
it's
for the sound, so at least I
yeah,
know. I got you. That's smart. That's
yeah.
smart. That's
You
smart.
know. So we had a tournament yesterday. The kids competed at the final tournament of the year for MSKC. So we did okay. We did okay. At least everyone went home with medals. So I was happy with that. Now some kids didn't win, what they wanted to win, of course, but some did, and that was good. I like some of the kids that are getting out there, and this is their first or second tournament. I had a couple kids that was their second tournament or their first tournament. Yeah, go ahead, Angel.
So do you with MSKC, do they now I don't know if they have this because I pay attention to the league, but not super thoroughly. Do
Mhm.
they have like grappling divisions? Like I know some tournaments they'll add some grappling divisions with their tournaments. Do they have that there?
Cuisino used to add it.
Okay,
The only reason why I asked
Maybe
that is
one
because
more.
I figured since your kids are doing jujitsu now, that'd be something cool for them to even add into it. Like If they had it at the tournament, I don't know if they do. Like I know
No,
some
as of
places
right
do, some
now,
places don't.
as of right now, no, there isn't one in MSKC. You know, who knows what they're going to do in the future.
Yeah,
You know,
I
but
mean,
you know,
shoot,
because there's
if Team Plata ends up throwing a tournament, that could be something smart. We make some money off of that. Get the
you know,
jiu-jitsu people in.
I mean, at least I wouldn't have to worry about judging. Shit, I can't judge that for sure. You know, but you know, there are a couple of schools around, like Joe just said, Dan Cousineau, Dragon Martial Arts. They do jiu-jitsu, and then Macomb Martial Arts, MMA. Those guys do jiu-jitsu. So I don't know what other schools around here do it also, but you know, I mean, I'll be down. You know, the kids need to train a little bit more than right now. On just Fridays and every other Tuesday. You know.
Okay.
So,
now, how far are you from Macombs?
I have no idea where their school is. I know where the city of Macomb is. I have no idea where their school.
I just know them just because I usually see some of their guys at the national tournaments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Corey. He was at one point in time. I don't know if he's still doing MMA.
He was signed with Bellator. He was signed with Bellator.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if he's still competing or not. I haven't heard in a while.
He has a PFL fight. He has a PFL playoff fight.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Good. Last time I checked, he has a PFL fight coming up.
Okay. All right.
So, which, by the way, not to get off topic before I know we're wasting time with this. I just want to say, one, did you guys see the JRE episode with Kurt Angle? I just want to see what you guys thought about it.
I didn't see.
I haven't watched it yet. No.
It's interesting. Honestly, it's interesting. I think it was kind of cool to hear his story. I liked his way better than Hulk Hogan's. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Hulk Hogan is a fucking liar.
I know. I don't want to start. I already know. I know. But yo, I know where we're going.
Don't get him started again.
I know. That's why I stopped it. I know.
Angel, let me ask you this: did Kurt talk about MMA at all? Because I remember when when the UFC really in the mid 2000s, when it really started picking up, he was trying to get a fight. Did he talk about that? Because he was going to potentially have a fight.
He barely scratched on it, and that's only not because he brought it up, mainly because Joe Rogan was saying how Brock Lesnar was probably one of he's how freak of an athlete he is, that he was able to be the best in WWE at that time. Whether it's arguable, but he was one of the best to then go and be a heavyweight champion, and then they started talking about that whole steroid, and then it took a turn. So he talked about it for a little bit. Mainly, he was really talking about his addiction, and how he broke his neck. And that was a lot. That was a main part of it. And then just kind of talk about the behind the scenes of wrestling and all that. I think it's very interesting to start seeing Joe bring a lot of wrestlers in now. I think that's really interesting. He's bringing a lot of wrestlers in. I think he's starting to try and understand that world more.
I think Kurt Angle definitely would have been.
I think he would have done great.
I think he definitely would have been a champion.
Bro, the man at that time, and think about it, at that time, he just, he talked about his scrap he had with Brock and how it wasn't that it was an ass beating, but he did beat him, but it wasn't an ass beating. But it's if you were taking down Brock, and then we saw what Brock ended up doing, you could have definitely adapted and then done well in there.
I think he would have did better than Brock Lesnar.
I think he would have done better. Absolutely.
Yeah, he definitely would have. I think he would have definitely stuck around a little bit longer than Brock also.
My only thing with him is for his size, height-wise.
Heavyweight.
I was going to say, what would you put him at? Would you make him a heavyweight still? You still have him at
heavyweight? Randy Couture fought heavyweight.
How tall was Randy? I couldn't tell, honestly.
I think Randy is either 6 or 6'1". I think Kurt might be either be 5'11".
Kurt's my height.
Pull it up. Pull it up and see.
Yeah, I'm about to do that now. Yeah, because I thought Kurt is my height.
Speaking of Randy Couture, he was in this movie.
Yeah, he was. It was a few older UFC fighters in it. Bob Sapp was in this movie. Don Fry.
Bob Sapp was.
You know what? Why is it that every time there's a prison movie, they pull in Bob Sapp?
Bob Sapp, yeah, that's kind of messed up though.
He played the same character with the annoying voice,
from
a crybaby.
From The Longest Yard.
So terrible. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He always plays that. I think he could do more than just that character.
Joe, when we were talking about this movie, Joe, did you say this movie was like The Longest Yard? But
100%.
martial
I said
arts.
it was.
Okay, yeah, because
They
it
took
did
The
remind me
Longest Yard and just threw in some martial arts. That's literally, I think, was
that.
the outline, because that's what it was.
The Kurt is 6 feet and he's
Yeah.
220.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
surprised. I thought he would
yeah, I
be
thought so.
small.
Yeah, I thought so. Yep.
But
I mean, especially, I mean, Vince McMahon wouldn't have pushed him that hard the way he did if he was a smaller guy.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Vince is pretty.
but think about the people that when Kurt was in the WWE, he feuded with Rock, he feuded with Stone Cold, he feuded with Triple H. Smaller wrestlers aren't going to have long-term feuds with those
It didn't
guys.
look. Yeah. It didn't look good. It wouldn't have looked good.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
visually, it wouldn't have looked good. Yeah,
Right,
I got what you mean. I was about to say, when you hear some of that stuff that Kurt Angle was saying, I don't know, man. Vince is a pretty his method of way of the show must go on. He I think he takes that too much to heart. Hearing some of the stuff that he said.
Yeah, that's a whole nother podcast and a whole nother show.
Let's get into this movie. Talking about this.
Big Stand. This is one of Joe's movies.
Okay, it really is, because it's just it's stupid. It really is.
Angel is shaking his head already.
It's funny, but I forgot how just politically incorrect this movie is.
Oh yeah.
I mean, anything they could touch on, they did. And they just, I mean, the real premise of the movie is you got a sleazy timeshare salesman in Rob Schneider. He ends up ripping people off and it has to go to jail. And he gets a 6-month reprieve before he has to go to jail to get his affairs in order, which I didn't even know that was a thing. And
no, it wasn't. He paid that shady lawyer. He wanted the lawyer to go.
He wanted the lawyer to pay off
the
judge, but
so this is all he could get. Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, what affairs is going to take you 6 months to get an order? If I was him, I would have ran.
Well, isn't that kind of what his lawyer insisted?
He told him. He said, "Go to Brazil and see you later. Take some money." But he's like, "I got $7 million in the bank, so."
I don't blame him. I wouldn't have left either.
Well, I don't know. It's just crazy to me, but it's not really the premise. So during his 6 months, he kind of starts freaking out a little bit, and he goes to a bar and sits down. He goes, what he doesn't know is it's a motorcycle bar, but he finds out later that it's a motorcycle gay bar. And so he's talking to a gentleman who looks like he's been in prison, and apparently he has, which everything about this is just stupid and wrong. It's so stereotypical, but he gives the guy $100 to just tell him what he can expect in prison. And he's okay with most of it until he basically figures out a guy like him is basically going to get raped every day. Yeah. And that's where he has a problem. Like, he can't get past this. It's haunting his nightmares, which I guess we all understand. But the guy explains it to him, and he's like, this is going to be a problem. So now he's trying to figure out the best way to avoid this situation. Which, like I said, if that's your biggest fear, run away. Bye-bye. See you later. Because I mean, it's Rob Schneider. Like, he's not big and muscular. He's kind of, dumpy or whatever. He did kind of beef up for this movie a little bit later on, but all that. And then on top of it, he's got this kind of, bimbo tart of a wife who, is
that was an interesting way of doing her, because I thought that she was kind of, flighty at first also, but she wasn't as ditzy as I was expecting her to be.
Well, I think she was,
as the movie went on.
Yeah, but not only that, but she played that at the beginning. And like you said, it did change later on, but she also did kind of realize, like, he's an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Because now she wants to use this 6 months to love and cherish the time they have together. She wants a baby, and he kind of just keeps pushing her off.
Well,
basically, he's like, I don't want to have a baby. Man. No, he's like, I don't want to have a baby, 1. And 2, He's like, what about my problems?
Right.
Okay, I'm not saying like, oh, that's right, but I'm just saying like, he's about to go into jail. You want to have a baby before he goes into jail and gets anally raped and probed? I mean, I don't know, like that one. I'm not
I
saying he's
mean,
right, but I'm just
honestly,
saying
most women aren't going to stay with a man for 3 to 5 years and wait for them, and maybe get like a 1 month conjugal visit every single month, unless they have something else to do. So a baby, honestly, would probably help him out.
Right.
I didn't think
I'm
he
just
cared about
saying.
her enough. I didn't think he cared about her enough.
Not at the
It didn't
beginning.
seem like that.
He
It
really
didn't
wasn't
seem
sure.
like that at first, but eventually, like when he was in prison, we saw him kind of wake up and appreciate his wife.
Yeah. But he had a lot of trials and tribulations to lead him to that.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we really get into the thick of this movie, um, he's trying to hire people to make him more like hardcore, teach him how to fight. He ends up at a karate, which I hate this part. This part is
Do you
what
know who that
pisses
guy
me off.
was? The instructor?
No.
That's Daehan. That was Daehan from Best of the
Yeah.
Best.
Oh yeah, duh. I knew he looked familiar.
It was his voice for me. It was his voice for me that made me realize who it was. Yeah.
Why
His
come he
voice,
never did Best
Dehan
of the
barely
Best?
even talked.
Wait.
But
How
that's
come he never
right.
did?
That and this guy, the sound of his voice was familiar to me because I
How
don't know
come?
too many people that sound
How
like
come
that.
you never did Best of the Best 2? You and Mike did 1 and never 2.
We can't find 2. It's no. If you look online, it's nowhere to be found.
I'm gonna look because that doesn't
No.
even sound real.
Go ahead, look it up.
Because that's a good movie.
It's you can't find it. It's nowhere. It's not on YouTube. It's not on Prime. It's nowhere. I can't find it.
Okay, so a couple things. Like I said, that scene with the karate club where he's like a yellow belt and he wants to get his green belt, and he just says it's boring and he's not challenged. First off, he's in there with a bunch of kids, which is already stupid. And second off, like they do the same stuff all these people who don't do real karate do. They and he has some
I hate
little
that
kid
too,
beat him
man.
up, and
I hate it.
it just drives me nuts. I don't care if it's a comedy or not, man.
Mhm.
Like, it's stupid.
And you know, one of the reasons why I don't like that type of stuff is because it gives people it makes people
a bad
think that's
bad
what we
idea
do.
of what karate. Yeah, it makes
And we don't
people a
get
bad idea.
respect as karate instructors because of that type of stuff, because they expect that silly goofiness.
Yes.
You know, I absolutely hate that stuff, because especially if you train with any of us, that's not where you're going to get. You know, and I think
not
that's
at
why a lot of other martial arts like jiu-jitsu and MMA and everything
They
get
laugh-
more
they
respect
laugh at
than
us.
karate. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's because they never trained with us. It'll be a different story. You get a lot more respect when you grab one of those guys and you take them in the gym and put them on the mat with you and train. And definitely when you spar with them, you get
Oh
way
yeah,
more
then
respect after that.
then they're like, oh wait a minute, hold up. Oh, you
Right.
actually know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Joe.
So the other issue I had, he's trying to make love to his wife, and he's basically wrestling with the idea that maybe he's just going to have to deal with the prison stuff. So he tells her if it's going to happen, he wants her to be the first, and he brings the toy home, and I'll just leave it at that. And I'm like,
You know,
okay,
Joe.
it's
You know,
silly.
I'm impressed with you, Joe. I'm very, very impressed with you, because
I could have really went a different way with that.
I was wondering how you were going to get through the first part of this movie without
So was
talking
I.
about some of the craziness that happened
was
in the
I.
beginning. Because
So was I.
I mean, everyone, you got to check out the beginning of the movie, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on that's just not appropriate. I mean, even for our show, for us to talk about, especially when he was talking to the old lady in the office. I was like, if these motherfuckers try and make me talk about this, we gonna have a problem.
No, that part was so foul.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
and I get it's a comedy, so whatever, but it was very foul. Now I'm gonna tell you, I almost forgot, and then I did remember before I watched it who the the character was that was going to actually teach him how to fight.
The
It's
Master.
the Master, and
Mhm.
it's
David Carradine.
David Carradine. And I forgot how just crazy they made this dude
Yeah.
because he's literally kung fu, but they
Mhm.
just like they went over the top with it. I
Hold
mean,
on one second before you continue, Joe. Angel,
Yeah.
am I right?
All right, I'm not gonna say. All right, I'm not gonna say I didn't find it because I did, but you're not
But
gonna wanna.
You can't
You're not
watch
gonna
it.
wanna see it. No, you could. You could.
How? On what?
On YouTube, I found like
No,
a
you not. I'm
version
not talking about in
that's not in
pieces.
English. No. I found a whole version. It's just not in English.
Oh, okay. Well, no, you're not
That's
gonna
what
do
I'm
that.
saying. Like, you're not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get you to watch it. It's
Okay.
not in
we
English
could
at all.
probably buy like the DVD or something.
I'm
Yeah,
sure I can
you
find
would
a
have to do
DVD
that.
somewhere.
And
Yeah,
then-
I'm sure I
and
can
then-
find a DVD somewhere.
So and then I gotta go spend $25 on a VCR or a DVD player because I don't got one of those.
Hey, I got
So-
a DVD player in my van.
I thought it was about to be a $50 movie review for me. You know,
Yo,
for the drive.
imagine Joe does that. Joe says, "Yeah, I gotta go watch it in my car, man. I can't even watch it in my damn house."
I can't even watch it on my laptop. My laptops don't even take little DVDs
I
or
know.
CD-ROMs anymore. All right, go ahead, Joe.
So yeah, you know, when he gets basically kicked out of the karate club, and this is where he meets the Master, and he's got a lighter. He's lighting his cigarette with a daggone torch or whatever, and he punches a hole in the wall, and just like I said, he's over the top. Now here's where this got crazy because his idea is to not only train with the Master, who's a Looney Tune that he met on the street.
He met him in the alley.
Yes, but he wants to bring him into his home to live
Yes.
and train him in the home, which of course the wife's like, what?
Right.
And he does not respect their home at all.
No.
Like he's eating everything, he's tearing up the house, he's smoking inside. The wife's telling him you can't do that. He don't care. He's drinking all their wine. Like this, he's just a very rude house guest.
What did you guys think? What did you guys think about what the Master was making Stan eat?
He's crazy.
You wouldn't catch me doing that. Let's just
But
talk about
you
that.
know what? It made sense later, though, right? It made sense.
Now this is what I was going to ask you all. Because I said, was he doing this because it was like some quote unquote ancient secret, or was he doing it because now the prison food's not going to taste that bad?
Exactly. That's exactly why he did that. Because that's what he said when he finally started eating the prison food. He was like, "This is not so bad," because he's been eating snakes and scorpions and what else did he eat? Do you remember, Joe?
Tongues.
He was just eating some ridiculous stuff, and the Master never explained why he was doing it. But when Stan went to prison, yeah, exactly. He woke him up with a bloody liver on his head, and he told him that he had to eat it. And I'm assuming he had to eat it raw because he just threw it to him and said, "Eat this."
It was gross.
So by the time he goes to prison and he has that food, after 6 months of eating garbage, of course the food's gonna taste, all right. So the Master knew what he was doing. That's why he's the Master.
Oh,
yeah, and everything he kind of did was, like I said, it was in riddles and all this stuff.
You know what this movie reminded me of? Sorry, I just remembered it because you said this earlier, right? You said how he was avoiding trying to get raped. This movie reminded me of Get Hard. I felt like I was watching Get Hard.
I
literally felt like I was. Even though it came way later, I just felt like I was watching Get Hard. Just two white guys, a white and black guy. That's all I felt like I was watching. It literally was almost like the same exact thing.
Okay,
that was the other thing I'm gonna say.
But he was in that one. He wasn't training them how to fight. He was training them like how to be like hood and ghetto. I don't even know. Like he was really training them like how to actually.
It was how not to get raped. That's what he kept saying.
Well, just how to survive, I guess, is more or less. But this is, I mean, he's hitting my man with a stick of fire, and he's got him on a bed of nails. I mean, it's not. This is stuff. This is old kung fu movie stuff.
It's crazy because
And-
people probably really did this in the 80s too. People really thought they were like training something in the 80s.
The funny thing is, like, he's terrible. Like, you're looking, going, like, I don't know how long he's got to train him, but he's gonna need like another year. And he eventually does seem to kind of start picking it up because they kind of do like a training montage, which of course, Fist Kicks and Flicks, we love a good training montage.
Well, I'll tell you what, when I saw that, I said, yo, as dumb as this movie is, I know Joe is like, at least it got a training montage. At least it got a training montage.
I'm definitely gonna bring it up.
I said that too, Angel. I said it too.
Like, in my mind, I was like, this movie gotta be about the dumbest thing they got me watching. This is like up there with one of the worst ones. And then I was like, but it got a training montage, so I can see where this is going. I can see where this is going. I got a training montage.
Now, did you guys? Let me ask you guys this before we continue. Did you guys have a problem with the rate that he got better at martial arts? Because he got good kind of quick. You did. Yeah. I didn't have an issue with that. Because the only reason I didn't have an issue with it because it wasn't a traditional karate school, right? He's training full time. He's not going to see the master for an hour or 45 minutes every other day. He's living with him. He's training him consistently. So how good would you be if your instructor came and lived with you and that's all you guys did for 6 months was train you? You'll be outstanding. You should.
Yeah, it's just he just wasn't as
You know what I think, Joe?
I feel like he just looked awkward. He just looked awkward.
I'm gonna say this, Joe. Angel is a hater of this movie, right? He's a hater.
He really is.
You know what? I'm a hater. I hate this movie. I hated it.
I guarantee you, Joe. If you take out Rob Schneider and put in Jackie Chan in the same movie, he's going to like it.
You're absolutely right.
Jackie Chan knows martial arts.
When I was watching this movie, all I kept saying was the fact that it's Rob Schneider. It makes me more disengaged. I'm waiting for him to do his usual cameo dumb stuff.
I feel like, but hold on, I'm about to call him out.
That's why I like it.
Hold on, Joe, but I'm about to call him out because didn't you like Chris Farley in Beverly Hills Ninja?
That was way better than this. That was way better. No. That was way better.
What's the
difference? I think it's on the same.
That was way. I did Chris Farley and Beverly. Again, another way. It's almost like you're in my fucking mind. I was sitting there and I'm watching this, and I was like, I'd much rather watch Beverly Hills Ninja than this. Like Beverly Hills Ninja is one of my go-tos. This movie is way down there. Like I don't know, man. It's like maybe it's just because of
Schneider. I mean, come on. If I'm looking at
who's more believable, who was more believable
as a martial artist,
Chris Farley or Rob Schneider? Forget about what Joe told us before.
I'm going with Rob Schneider. I'm going with Rob Schneider. Yeah, I'm going with Rob
Are you serious? Chris Farley was a buffoon for 90% of that movie. The one scene where his brother got his ass whooped is the only time he does any freaking karate in that movie.
Like what Joe said, in a nice way, because I liked Chris Farley, but he was a buffoon. He was buffoon 90% of his acting, period, and everything that he did.
That's why we watch him,
right?
I'm just saying.
Wait. He had Chris Rock chasing the chicken.
Listen. If I go into a martial arts school, just walking down the street, I go into a school and I walk in and see Rob Schneider. I'm like, this is a little guy. Let me see what he knows. If I go in and Chris Farley turns around and looks at me, I'm walking the fuck out. I'm not staying there. No.
Wait. No, I want to see if he can do anything though. I'm not walking right now. I want to see. I'm gonna be like,
Chris Farley's just not going to be standing there, Joe. But see, Chris Farley is not going to just be standing there in a gi. Chris Farley is going to be standing there, probably eating an ice cream in one hand and a piece of pizza in the other, with
his shirt off.
Yeah, with the Mr. Miyagi headband on. He's not just going to be standing there.
When I watched it, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I said, I was hating. Like the whole movie, I was looking at it from a negative lens. Like I was like, this movie is just terrible. But at one point, I'm not even joking. I was really sitting there like, I should just go put on Beverly Hills Ninja to redeem my eyes out of what I just watched. This is terrible.
Go ahead, Joe.
That was funny,
You
man. That
cracked
was
me
funny.
up. So he's showing off some of his skills, and the master tells him he's got one final test, and the final test was to go take on the karate guy who threw him out. And he does. He has no problem. He takes him out pretty easily. And the guy's a little shocked. And then he turns himself into prison. And right from the get-go, right on the bus, got a guy trying to mess with him, and he puts that dude right in his place. And he's, I don't know, to me, like, he went from this asshole business guy to this real pompous, hard character. And, like, he did that for a good 15, 20 minutes. And it just didn't fit. Like, it didn't fit his character. You know what I'm saying? It felt forced.
I think that was the point.
I think so too.
Was for it to feel forced, and because that would make it funny. Because kind of what Angel was saying, because he did seem like he was goofy, in that role. But I still enjoyed it, because of course somebody like him would okay. Shit, fuck it. I don't care. I'm gonna get in trouble. If in next year, if they say Donald Trump has to go to jail, and he knows he's going to jail,
I love this. Go.
And you take some type of super martial artist and he keeps him with them for 6 months. You don't think Donald Trump is going to jail and acting the same way? He is 100% going to do that. Of course he will. He is going to do that. He's going to be on the bus twisting nipples like Rob Schneider was doing and slapping people. He's going to be the one that's bending over, smiling.
Yo,
like Rob Schneider was when he had to get checked.
Yo,
it is what it is.
So you're telling me if Donald Trump had to go to jail, but he had 6 month prior experience of training, you think he will go to jail confident?
Yeah, hell yeah, he would. He ran for president confident and had no experience. So what are you telling me? He had no experience.
I think if he went to jail, he'd have more friends without knowing karate. So
I think, I don't know, man.
Ain't nobody trying to hit that. Ain't nobody gonna try to hit that in jail. So he ain't got nothing to worry about.
Anyhow, moving on. So after the bus incident, he walks into his room, and for no reason whatsoever, there's an old man sitting there, and he's like, "That's my bunk." Leave the old man alone. What did the old man do to you? That old man ain't gonna try and take your sphincter. Come on, man.
Right.
I mean, but he just did it to do it. And then, of course, it got all messed up because the guy basically said, "Listen, I've already made a mess of this bed, and I'm going to leave it at that. Like, you don't want to, you're probably going to have to change the sheets." And he's like, "You know what? That's your bed." And that's the right move, because that's gross. And he's basically kind of grilling him on what's going on, what's the deal. He wants to know, who's the baddest, who's he got to take out. Which is smart if you're trying to figure out what's going on. And then this part got me too, because I have a whole nother issue with this, but it made me laugh when he's going through the yard and he's like, you got the blacks, you got the white supremacists, the Aryan nation, whatever they are, you got the Latinos, and then he said you got the Scientologists.
Yes.
He said, "You don't want to mess with them." He's like, "They'll fight you, then you'll hit them, and they'll sue you for everything you're worth."
Yep.
At that time, man, at that time when that happened, when they said that, I was like, "Yo, I think that's when that whole Tom Cruise and all that stuff was real big." When this movie
What movie did this come out? What year did this movie?
Or what year? I think it was 2007, wasn't it? Am I wrong?
I have no
Look it up
idea.
right now. I'm about to look it right now. I'm about to look it up right
Okay.
now.
Yeah, I think it's like 07, 08. But the funny thing is, it's even funnier now because, you know, they were making that joke now, like you said, with just the Tom Cruise craziness. But now with Leah Remy and all these other things coming out, like it's even
Yeah.
funnier because I'm like, oh, they could have piled onto that joke even more.
Oh 07. 07.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you know, that's why it's even funnier now. Meanwhile, here you go. We got the Bob Sapp. He's already looking for some fresh meat, and he's the one that his cellmate kind of pointed out. Take him out, and nobody will really mess with you. And this is crazy to me because this is where you have to have good training. Bob Sapp is a big dude, especially in comparison to Rob Schneider. And
Right.
I like how they didn't make it so like he was like flipping around and doing all crazy. Like they kept it pretty simple. Wrist locks, leg kicks. Like this is if you're the smaller dude, this is how you're gonna take a big guy out. You gotta take him down, chop him down like a tree, and then break his fingers and mess him up because otherwise he gets a hold of you, you're dead.
Bro, I could just,
you
I
don't-
don't know, man. Like, I hated the whole breaking fingers. Every time they did that to somebody, I just hated it. It looked too much. It looked like it was too much. You know what I mean?
But how
I'm
else
not
are you
saying,
gonna take out
I'm
a
not
dude
saying,
like that?
I'm not
How else
saying
are
if
you
you
gonna take
break
out a guy
someone's
that big?
finger, I'm not saying I'm not saying that you can't do that or it's not realistic. I just think like the imagery of it was just like, I was like, ugh.
Oh, it
just
is.
too
It's
much.
gross.
Yeah.
So you definitely didn't like it when at the beginning of the movie when he tried to break the board with his finger.
Bro,
Oh, yeah.
I was so again, that's what took me out and said I'd much rather watch Chris Farley. Like Chris Farley, yeah, he may be picking up hot stones and pour the hot water on everybody. That to me was way more realistic than someone's fingers going sideways and then he takes it and puts the middle finger up and makes it correct. Like to that, you lost me there. You lost me right when you did that.
Oh, come on. It's just good, clean fun. This whole thing though going down kind of caused an issue because now Aryan Nation thinks he's with them, so he's got to take them out. Then the African American community, they're like, you know, we don't like that guy necessarily, but you know, you see the color of his skin. Now we got to take you out. And then the Latinos because they don't want to seem like punks. So now he's fighting everybody. And they kind of
Everybody.
set it up like Neo Matrix style, but they were kind of still having one-on-one fight. It was just back to back to back to back. And he did eventually get like a mop that he turned into a bow. And then of course he had to break it and turn it into some Arnie sticks. But I mean, this really wasn't terrible fighting. I mean, it was halfway decent for a comedy.
Yeah, I didn't have any issue with it.
There was more fighting in this than half some of the movies we watch that were more martial art. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
So you got to give it that at least. I mean,
You are right. I'm not gonna lie on that part. You're right.
so yeah, he kind of asserted his dominance, and I think it was only one more time after this that they tried to mess with him, and they kind of all learned really quick, like you can't mess with him. And so basically, whatever he said kind of goes, and he looked at that. That's what he wanted.
Joe, this part made me think of you. The part that you speaking on now, when you said they probably tried to mess with him one more time. So they tried to some of the guys from the Aryan Nation. They tried to get him in the shower.
Yeah,
and they approached him with a toothbrush melted with a razor blade or something like that, right?
yeah.
And he had made nunchucks out of bars of soap and a shoestring, and he was whipping it around. And I said, Joe has to appreciate that. Joe has
I love
to like
that.
I figured you did. I figured
That's
you did.
I saw that. I saw that on Facebook, and that's when I was like, "Oh my god, I forgot about this movie." And
that's what made Joe say we gotta fucking watch this. If it had soap with some shoestrings and nunchucks, we're fucking watching this without a doubt.
Yeah, man. That's creative, and it was effective.
Yeah.
But so the problem is he's kind of left everyone alone with him, but then some of the other people who were kind of still victims were coming up trying to seek protection. And he basically brushed them off. He's like, you got to do your own time. I'm just here to do my time. And I don't think he realized right away, like the power he had, that he could have really helped out a lot more people, not just himself, but it took him a minute to really realize that. So eventually, he does get called into the warden's office, and the warden basically tells him that this is prime property that he wants to flip into, condos or, some money making scheme. And that's been his job.
Real
That's been
estate.
his idea, though. And he's the one, he wasn't supposed to go to this prison. He was supposed to go to a
Right.
different prison. This warden wanted his expertise to help with this, which he was more than happy to get until he found out what had to happen to get it.
Right.
Because the warden can be your best friend, could have got him out early, but he wants to basically turn the prisoners around to get rid of the prison. And he would have to kill some people. So he does eventually make some friends here, and he changes the whole culture of the prison. Like, he literally, after he's whooped everyone's ass and like nobody can take him on, he starts changing the idea of prison. He doesn't want the race wars anymore. He says, his biggest thing from the beginning, he says, no more rape.
Right.
And of course, just because, to make it extra hilarious, everybody has questions about, well, how about this? How about that? And exceptions to the rule. But no, he just cuts it out, which, hallelujah, that everyone's safe.
Right.
And the problem is, by changing the culture and everybody getting along, it's good for him, but it's not good for the warden. The warden wants everything to be bad because he wants to bring the board in and shut the place down. What's the other issue that he runs into? So he runs into another issue where he gets a conjugal visit with his wife, and the wife makes it sound like the master is teaching her a thing or two, which of course he has a huge problem with. And, they definitely want to make it seem like that, but we do find out later that the master was not messing around with his wife. Cigarettes have caused him to have a problem in that area, so he doesn't have to worry. But he was teaching her karate and all this craziness. Now, before he went into prison, the master said that he was his second best student and that he had a number one out there, but the guy lost his mind.
All these movies seem to have that, don't they? There's always somebody. There's always someone else that we'll find out later. So the moment I saw this guy, I said, "Okay, this is the number one guy."
I said the same thing because the warden had was a silent partner with a Vietnamese mafia, and the one he was dealing with, we find out later, was the number one.
Right.
So when he can't convince Stan to change everything back to the way it was and get everyone crazy, and so he can get out, they have an issue, and they end up fighting, and he has to beat the number two or the number one to become the number one, and all this craziness. It's a bunch of insanity. And also during that whole fight, they're trying to incite the riot. They're literally handing out shivs while they're getting ready to have
all types of stuff. All types of stuff.
Could you imagine being in a real prison and they're like, okay, it's time to go in the yard. Here, have a shiv, right. Have a jump rope, all these weapons. Like, what is happening? Wouldn't you think to yourself, okay, something's not right here? I don't know. It was that was crazy to me. So during the fight, they're really trying to make us look like this riot's going to happen. And so when he tries to get out there and the warden's getting ready to shoot everybody starts dancing, salsa dancing. And the warden's still trying to shoot people.
I had a feeling both of those things were going to happen. I knew that because he told the old man, I don't even remember the old man's name. He told him don't go out into the yard.
Yeah.
The next day, he told him the previous day not to go out in the yard. And the old man kind of had a feeling something was supposed to go down. So he just kind of spread.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Damn, Gene, you watching stuff closer than I am lately.
Well, You
I
know
didn't even
what?
think about that.
Yeah. So that's what happened, and we see him talking to people, and I just put it together like, okay, he's warning everyone. Let's
You're
do
right.
something else.
You're
Something
right.
else is going to pop off. So that's why when that happened, I laughed. Melissa was watching with me. She was like, "This is stupid." She had the angel face. She was like, "Why are you laughing? Like, this is not funny." I was like, "I knew this was going to happen."
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll tell her you said that, Angel.
Listen, I
Thank
have
you.
watched a lot of these movies, and there are plenty of movies that I enjoy that are funny because they're stupid and stupid because they're funny. It's just the way it is, and I don't mind it. I like to unwind my brain a little bit and just watch something stupid and laugh because I'm like, you know what? That's stupid. It's funny. I just
So
enjoy
with
it.
that,
It's fine.
so with that being said, now I just brought up like another topic. Now I'm thinking about, right? Do you guys like watching Master Ken?
Yes, I love Master Ken.
Yeah, at
I
first,
would
at first
hope
I
you
didn't.
I would hope you say you do, because after what you just said, I would hope you say you do.
Master Ken is hilarious.
It would
He's
create such an
hilarious.
argument.
Yeah,
ahead,
at
you
first
go.
I didn't. At first I didn't, Angel, because I thought he was a real guy. I was like, "What the hell is this? Like, this shit ain't funny. Like, why is he making a mockery of martial arts?" I was like, "What the fuck?" But then I found out it was like a whole scare. There was a thing. I said, "Okay, yeah, okay, I get it now. I get it."
Okay,
So.
I only asked that because, like, so I'm not a big Master Ken fan, like, at all, right? It's just not my thing. So I met
Even
him
after
when
he
I went to.
was
I met him when he went to Vegas. I was supposed to be on the show, and I was like, they were like,
the
"Hey,
one with your
Angel, get
brother,
on." Yeah, well,
the
not
one
just
with
with
Paul
my
Mitchell.
brother, with not even just with them. Just like I was supposed to be on there with with Revolution, and then I was supposed to be on there with my brother, and they kept asking me, and I
Okay.
was like, I kept sitting there like this, like, no, I'm not getting on that. Like, I'm not getting on that, bro. I'm not getting on that. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you're not gonna be no wishbone self-defense on me. You're not gonna do no taking ammunition and putting it in places self-defense. But for me, I was just like,
Oh,
nah, man, I take my stuff too serious.
Angel, you
Like,
need to have
I
a
ain't doing
sense
that.
of humor, bro.
I'm not
You
doing
need
that,
to have
bro.
more of
And
a
you know
sense
what
of
the
humor.
worst part was? This is the craziest thing. I'm not even joking when I say this. True story. Me and my brother were out. I was like, yo, I'm gonna leave. I'll catch you later, because like we were both in Vegas for the same thing. He's like, all right, I gotta go to Walgreens anyway. So he goes to Walgreens. I come back. He shows me a picture. He says, oh, look at who I found. Just shows me a man, like just a white man. And I go, all right, well, who the hell is this? He said, you don't know who this is? I'm like, no, that's Master Ken. I said, how the hell am I supposed to know that if you don't have on the fucking goofy ass mustache and shit? Like, he's like, I told him, I was like, he looks like a
Seriously?
normal.
Yo,
I
Joe,
told him, I was like, he looks like a normal man.
You
How the
know
hell
he
am I
was in
supposed to know
the.
who this is?
You know he was in the Paper Tigers, right?
He was?
yeah, he was.
Yes.
Angel,
I thought he was
Joe,
just some random dude.
What?
Joe, this is what we're gonna do. Angel's birthday is Friday. We are going to put our money together and fly Master Ken out to his dojo. I want Master Ken to sing "Happy Birthday" to Angel.
I swear
You know
to
what?
you.
I think he's on the what's the app? The Cameo app. I think he's on there.
Okay, all right.
We
We'll
can
talk,
actually
Joe.
arrange that.
We'll
I'll look
talk,
it up.
I
Joe.
I'll look it
swear
up.
to
Yeah.
you. I
Oh my
swear
God.
to you. I do
Oh,
not. I
Angel.
don't care. He can watch this. I do
Happy
not like
birthday
him.
to Angel.
I
Happy
don't
birthday
care.
to Angel.
He does that,
Nice.
and if he does this, I'll lose it. I'll lose it.
That's
I'll
his
lose it,
thing.
man.
That's his thing. That's his thing.
I'll
Oh
lose
my
it.
God. Oh my God. You're no
A
fun.
Meridote. A Meridote, please.
So to finish off the movie, now you got me all thinking Master Ken. I almost just said Master Ken was in this, which would have been hilarious, by the way. The warden goes to shoot Stan. Stan gets ready to defend himself, and his wife kicks the crap out of the warden. The master took care of everybody else. And then, the prison's fine. Everyone's dancing. Everyone's happy. Stan says goodbye to everyone. He gets out on parole, and he goes and he meets the master and his wife, and he has a daughter.
Yeah. Well, actually, they, after he, somehow his wife and the master found their way to where everyone else were, because they were in another part of the jail or the prison.
They're just that good.
Yeah. So he decides to stay in prison. He didn't want to get paroled out early. He decides he wanted to stay so he can help the prisoners. And then after this happens, they kind of fast forward and say 3 years later. So he stayed in for his minimum amount of time. But I was thinking when I saw that, I'm like, damn, now this is a prison of badass fighters because we see.
Oh yeah,
what
they
we
were
see
training
what can happen. Right.
Enter the
We
Dragon
saw-
style.
We saw what Stan could learn in 6 months. Well, damn, now they had 3 years of all
They had
these.
3 years.
Yeah, that's a dangerous prison.
Very. All right.
What grade y'all giving it?
Don't even ask. Don't even ask.
I
bro.
really,
Don't
you
even
know,
ask.
watching it, I did think about the whole time what would be a fair grade because I'm not, you know, I actually like this movie. I don't. It's not the greatest movie ever, but I mean, I think a solid B is
A
good
B?
for this one. Shut up. You don't like anything. You don't have a sense of humor. Okay, give it an F or whatever you want to give it. Go away.
Dude, I'm gonna give it an F. Go B.
Yeah, I'm giving it a B.
Do you
Gene?
think about all the other movies we have as a B? You're putting it on a B level? Yeah.
Angel.
Yes.
I actually agree with Joe. I'm giving it a B
Bullshit.
also.
Oh my God. What is
I'm
wrong
giving
with
it
you?
a B also.
What?
I
A
enjoyed
B?
it. I enjoyed
Usually,
it.
Angel and I are
Fuck-
teaming up on
Fuck
Gene. Now
this. We
it's
should go watch
better.
American Ninja now if this is a B.
Oh
Fuck
my God,
this.
no.
This is
Go away.
ridiculous.
You know
A
what
B.
you're getting with this movie. You know what you're getting with this movie. This movie is not supposed to be taken seriously, right?
We
But
gave
it's
Kick
still-
Ass.
it was
We
still
gave
entertaining.
Kick Ass a B. We gave Kick Ass a B.
No, I
You're
gave
saying this is
Kick-Ass a
Kick Ass
B+.
level?
I think it
I give
is
it a
kick-ass
B+.
level. I think it
Yeah.
is
Bullshit.
kick-ass level.
What is wrong with what kind of critics are we? Do we even have any rep anymore? This is
What's-
ridiculous.
Kick-Ass was barely a martial arts movie. This had more martial arts in it than Kick-Ass.
This had more seriousness than Kick. All right, my God, this movie you cannot. All right, what did we give?
What do you
Does
give it?
anybody remember what we gave Beverly Hills Ninja?
I have no idea what
I
gave
probably
it.
gave it an A because it's one of my favorites.
So, all right, whatever. I'm not going to get into this. Whatever. that would kill my argument. I give it like a D plus, maybe, like
Perfect.
Wow.
a D
Okay.
plus.
All right.
All right.
That's from the teacher, everybody.
Yeah, but sure.
Go
That
teach
means,
some
that
business.
means my grade is validated. I do this as a living. My grade is validated. That's what that means.
Maybe. To each his own. Okay, the next movie is Footway Fist. We got a recommendation from one of the main gangs, so we're gonna check
Now
it out.
I'm like,
It's another silly movie.
now another part of me is like, I don't want to see this one now. I'm already like, it's comedy. I can't keep
Okay,
taking these
well,
damn comedies.
Watch this movie, hate it, come back and tell us all about how you hate it, and then pick the next movie. And
I
don't
know
make
the
it
next
a
pick
double.
next.
The next,
I know
no,
you pick-
I'm not gonna do it. Actually, the next one I want to do after this one is Tekken. Even though it probably sucks, I want to do Tekken. I watched it
No,
once.
I don't mind Tekken. I know I already.
It
know.
wasn't that. From what I remember when I was younger, it wasn't that bad. If I watch it now, I'll probably say it's terrible. But I want to see
it's
Tekken.
not.
I
It's
can't
not
even remember.
terrible.
I can't even remember if I saw it or not. But man, we should have watched that with the other video game movies that we missed.
No, I'm
Man,
okay with
check
Tekken.
it out.
Tekken's decent.
Hey, real quick. Also, just asking. Even though we probably could talk about this after, just really quick. Do we count online series? Like, can we watch the Street Fighter online series?
I don't care. We can watch wherever we want. It's our show.
Would you want? Because the only reason I'm saying that is because I think on Amazon Prime they did it with Mortal Kombat. Also, they kind of made it like a movie. I think like they collided all
No,
of them.
Yeah, those were originally on YouTube.
Yeah, I watched them. I watched the Street Fighter one when it was coming out, like week by week. Me and my brother, we watched it every week. I remember when it came out. That's why I'm asking you. Would you guys want to do that? I think that'd be pretty
I
cool.
do it. I love all those.
All right.
Yeah, I don't
so
care.
yeah. I thought those were actually really good. All right, so we'll do that. That's cool.
Sweet.
Okay. You guys got anything else?
Nope.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's it for this week for Fist Kicks and Flicks. Make sure you guys watch our other shows on the Martial Arts Center Network. Everyone, stay safe, stay strong. I got something to tell y'all too. I'll holler at you next week. And I'm going to play our music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Angel.
Charger.
What happened?
The charger.